Flight attendants, when did you put someone on the no-fly list? I was working a red-eye flight from Las Vegas to Miami when this drunk guy in 23B decided to make my shift a living nightmare. He'd clearly been pre-gaming at the airport bar and stumbled onto the plane reeking of whiskey and bad decisions. His wife sat next to him looking embarrassed while he loudly told everyone how he'd won big at the blackjack tables, even though his designer watch was clearly fake. The harassment started during the safety demonstration when he yelled out, asking if I could demonstrate the life vest part again, but slower. His wife smacked his arm, but he just laughed like he was the funniest person alive. I kept my professional smile plastered on while mentally counting down the hours until landing. This was going to be one of those flights where I'd earn every penny of my paycheck. 20 minutes after takeoff, he pressed the call button for the third time. He wanted another whiskey, even though we'd already cut him off. When I politely explained he'd had enough, he started complaining loudly about the terrible service and how flight attendants used to be prettier and nicer back in his day. His wife had given up trying to control him and was pretending to sleep with her eye mask on. Things escalated when I was serving drinks to the row behind him. I felt my phone buzz in my pocket, which was weird because I always kept it on airplane mode during flights. When I checked it later, I saw an airdrop request from Big Money Moves with a preview that made my stomach drop. This disgusting man had taken a photo of my backside while I was bent over helping another passenger. I declined the airdrop immediately, but then watched in horror as other passengers started checking their phones. He'd sent it to everyone with airdrop enabled. A teenage girl 2 rows up looked at her phone, then at me with wide eyes. A businessman shook his and scratched his crotch. I wanted to disappear into the galley and never come out, but I had 3 more hours of the flight. My hands were shaking as I went back to the galley where my coworker Reese was preparing the snack cart. He took one look at my face and knew something was wrong. When I showed him what happened, he was ready to go confront the guy himself, but I had a better idea. We had a special stash of melatonin drops we kept for medical emergencies when passengers had severe anxiety or couldn't sleep. I prepared another drink service and made sure 23B got special attention. When he inevitably demanded another whiskey, I gave him orange juice in a whiskey glass with enough melatonin to knock out a horse. He was too drunk to notice it wasn't alcohol and knocked it back while making another gross comment about my uniform. His wife continued pretending to be asleep. While he was distracted drinking his whiskey, I noticed his wife's phone sitting on her tray table. Her boarding pass was sticking out of her passport holder with her full name visible. Kristen Williams. That was all I needed. During my break, I found her on social media and discovered she was very active in mom groups and had her entire family network public. Within 30 minutes, the melatonin hit him like a truck. His head lolled back and he started snoring so loud that people in first class could probably hear it. His mouth was wide open and drool was already forming. I made sure to walk by frequently to check on him and definitely didn't take any photos of him looking pathetic, even though every fiber of my being wanted to. I spent the rest of the flight memorizing important details from Margaret's social media. Her sister Sylvia was a lawyer. Her mother-in-law Bethany seemed to be the matriarch who commented on everything. The family group chat screenshots she'd posted showed they were planning a big reunion next month. I wrote down every phone number and email address I could find. As we began our descent into Miami, I made the announcement to prepare for landing. Mr. Money Moves was still completely unconscious, and his wife had to shake him repeatedly to get him to put his seatbelt on. He was groggy and confused, asking what year it was. Other passengers were recording him stumbling around like a zombie, which felt like poetic justice. After we landed and everyone was deplaning, I stopped his wife at the door. "Ma'am, I need to inform you that your husband shared inappropriate photos of me with the entire plane. The authorities have been notified and will be meeting him at the gate." Her face went from confused to mortified in seconds. She started apologizing profusely while her husband stood there swaying and rubbing his eyes. Sure enough, airport security was waiting along with Miami police. While they were taking my statement and reviewing the digital evidence, I made sure Kristen had my contact information for legal purposes. What she didn't know was that I'd already sent a detailed message to Bethany, Sylvia, and the 14 other family members I'd found online, complete with screenshots of the airdrop history and witness statements from other passengers. By the time Mr. Big Money Moves sobered up enough to understand he was being arrested, his phone was blowing up with messages from his entire extended family. His mother-in-law's text review was visible on his lock screen. "You disgusting pig. Kristen is staying with me." The last thing I saw was him being led away in handcuffs while his wife walked in the opposite direction, pulling out her phone to call her sister the lawyer.